Now record and live on Facebook. All right. We're not on Facebook. We're not going live on Facebook. We're going live on YouTube. There we go. All right. Yeah, let's go. Go live right now.
Listen.
And it's just loading. It's going to take it a few seconds here. Stand by. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us this edition of Leak Project. I'm your host, Rex Bear, and we have George from Germany with us. Now, what we're going to dive deep into tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is what's up with the moon and what's up with this soul harvesting, soul matrix that has been talked about for eons. I mean, you can read about this stuff in the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. You can read about various archons and serpent entities and Gnostic texts. They go back thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And one thing that I find interesting is when George reached out to me and we first started talking, I forgot what we were even going to discuss because we hadn't spoken for a few weeks. We set something up. I'm pretty much a one-man show, and I've talked to so many different people that I should do a better job with my scheduling. But to make a long story short, I said, well, George, what are we going to talk about today? And he said, well, Rex, you do a pretty good job putting a lot of pieces together. Sometimes you miss pieces, I feel. And we're going to talk more about soul evolution. And I want to get into the moon matrix. And I thought to myself, wow, that's funny because I was just thinking about that a couple days ago. So, George, if you would please tell the audience a little bit about yourself. I'd first of all like to thank you for joining me. And you don't have any books to sell. You don't have any website to promote. This is all just knowledge that you want to share freely. That is highly appreciative. I love information. I love knowledge. Knowledge is priceless. So giving us priceless gems for free, how cool is that? Tell us a bit about yourself and where we're going.
Okay. Well, I am living in Germany, in Nuremberg, old town. I'm originally from Hungary, Budapest. I was born there. I live here in Germany since 43 years now. I am 43. My parents moved over to Germany, so for work, lived here a better life, and so on. The same old stories as ever. So what can I tell about me? I'm a very ordinary worker. I'm working in a company as an employee. I'm a forklift driver in logistics since 20 years. I'm working in this company in the heart of the Bertelsmann Corporation, let's say. Everyone who knows who controls the world knows who Bertelsmann is. And I'm doing simply my job, but not without a reason. Let us say, if you know, everybody chooses his life, his experiences in the moment before he selects a life to be born in the third dimension. We are talking now in the third dimension, in the slowed down frequency dimension. So every soul has a special purpose. After how can I say it? After it grew over the mature status into the old soul status. And as your will and your consciousness progress, the more you will notice or know what you want to do. But the problem is, on this planet, you have a soul matrix. You have a matrix system. Okay, the word matrix isn't the fitting one. It's an enclosed system, artificially installed from beings which has very old, ancient, let's say ancient empires living here, doing their thing. Some are benevolent, some are malevolent, as you know. But what I want to touch first, Rex, is a question. I want to ask you a question, because if you answer questions, that's when the brain, the neurons start to explode and to find solutions. What do you know about evolution? Not genetical evolution, simple soul evolution.
I don't know if I could say I know anything about soul evolution. What I feel is a key component to soul evolution is knowledge, is information. And the more information we obtain, the more experiences that we feel, the more things we see, the more things we touch and hear will have an impact on our soul. The more people we help, the more people that we influence, all of that has an impact on soul evolution, I feel. Now, does that mean that I don't know anything about the fourth dimension, fifth dimension, sixth dimension, whatever? I hear a lot about that stuff, but I don't really have any scientific data to say, yeah, okay, I can see how that would be considered the fourth dimension, and I can see how that could be considered the seventh dimension. What I can see is different elements. I can see the planet as, you know, different kingdoms. You've got the mineral kingdom, you've got the plant kingdom, you've got the animal kingdom, you've got the human domain, which is connection to all of those things: earth, air, fire, water. Maybe that's a part of the soul evolution, is learning how to harvest and use and utilize and balance all of those things in conjunction together. I could go on for quite some time. I don't know if I get the where do you want to go with this though? I mean, why do you ask me that question? Hey, I'm supposed to be answering the questions here. I'm just joking.
Yeah,
totally joking.
For sure. I will explain. Okay. Okay. To understand third, fourth, fifth dimensions.
All right, folks, you need to take a look at this. This is called the Tiger Stream streaming device.
Pretty much, we're getting rid of cable because we heard about this.
And y'all already know what it is. Your boy Soulja Boy. Shout out to Tiger Stream. We just opened it up straight out the box. Yeah, man. If you ain't got this in your crib, you ain't no big dog, man.
And I finally figured out a way to cut the cord for good and no longer pay subscription for cable.
This is a really handy device that allows you to stream live content straight to your TV.
The Tiger Stream is the best media streaming Android device that I've ever used.
When it comes to looking for something to watch, I swear, the Tiger Stream box is king.
From the moment you open the box, the Tiger Stream is going to stand out from all the other streaming box providers.
I put this thing through its paces, and let me tell you guys, this thing is a game changer.
If you're like me and you are sick and tired of feeding the beast,
with all the content this device can access, it literally pays for itself in just a few months.
This is hands down one of the best options for a direct cable or satellite replacement box I've ever used.
How much money do you pay for cable, paying it to Comcast?
Every movie ever made since the 1930s.
Well, this new device right here, this device is going to change the game altogether.
Imagine now in your mind, imagine, okay? You are in a higher level of consciousness, out of time. Time is a linearity. So this means it runs from 0 to 12 and again from 0 to 12. Life cycles, time cycles, seconds are cycles, everything is a cycle in the third dimension. The fourth dimension is a bit above of it, okay? You can change between third dimension, fourth dimension, because you are not bound to your biomachine. Your biomachine is influenced by your consciousness, your will. Your will forms energy. Energy is frequency. If you have a strong will, you can project, manifest matter. Very simple. It's very simple. If you're a painter, you have an image in your brain, then you get how can I say it, a will, a focus, and you will materialize it on paper. Your will materialize it on paper because you had it in your mind. So imagine one thing. If I digress, like you always say, stop me. But Imagine one thing. You are out of time. Now you are looking at the whole universe as a bubble. Let's say as a bubble, okay? You are the creator. I call him Vater Ghost, Geist in German, like Zeitgeist, time spirit, okay? I call him Father Ghost. His name, you couldn't speak his name. His name can only be spoken in soul language. Soul language is picture, emotion, sound, image, and feelings together. Everything's together, not separated. The lower the frequency, the more separated are everything. So, Father Geist, as I call him, thinks of, let's say, to materialize a world which can inhabit life, a soul system, a solar system, sun, planets, moon, everything what needs to be in it, okay? It would take a nanosecond to materialize it, cause past, present, and the future are mixed together if you are out of time. Everything happens instantly. So if you're on a third dimension, then you will see this effect in a very, very slow motion effect. Like the scientists, the scholars looked into the stars and saw how, and thought how planets manifested, how it happened over billions and billions of years. Out of time, this happens instantly. If you are in a low frequency realm, you would see it over billions of years. Yes, for a human with 80 years, it would take eternity, but not out of time. So, to soul evolution. Okay, there is this planet. It can bear life. The conscious universe, which has a soul, which is a soul, a high evolved soul, where everyone will come one day. Time is relative. Time doesn't matter in higher realms. It's only for third dimension and lower realms. If you see, there is this world in a green habitable zone. Father Ghost, as I call him, sorry for that, will send his energy to this planet. It will give it consciousness. Like every planet has some kind of consciousness, soul energy. It's the energy that goes everywhere, through everywhere, that interconnects everything. Every living, breathing being, even some beings that are not breathing and living. It's energy. So it is created. The whole universe is created from him. He is the universe. We are all him and us. It's a paradoxon. But you are a lot and only one at the same time. But in a lower dimensions, you can't imagine, you can't grasp it, you can't measure it. You can't measure it because it's way, way above everything you can measure. So if this planet, let's say, we see here this beautiful picture of the, this artificial satellite, the moon. Let's imagine it's a habitable planet. So this universe sends energy to it, soul energy. This planet becomes a conscious planet. In the higher dimensions, this planet instantly, in the same nanosecond it was created, it had all life forms on it. Manifested thoughts. Matter is manifested thought. If you're in a higher dimension, you can see it. But there it is. In a lower dimensions, you would see over a billion years how the moon or this planet would manifest out of dust, through gravity, through physics, everything. But out of this realm, out of the third dimension, it will manifest in a nanosecond. And it does all the time in this universe. Billions of stars die, billions of stars were born in nanoseconds, because he is creating everything all day long, because past, present, and the future are all together in higher realms. So, soul evolution. Darwin taught us that, teach us, excuse me, as I said, my English isn't perfect. Darwin teach us biological evolution, but he also stated at the end of his manuscripts, don't take my word, I am not correct, find your own answers. So, biological life is manifested. It's a thought, it's will, then it's manifested. Soul evolution. If, let's take a group of young souls, okay? Coming to this world, to this conscious world, which is inhabited by a spirit, a soul. Soul. Everything has a soul. This soul prepares the garden. It is the garden keeper. On earth, you call her Gaia. The natives call her Gaia too, Mother Earth, and so on. So you will find all this in ancient cultures, ancient civilizations, tribes. All have their different names for Gaia. It doesn't matter which name. The devil comes with 1,000 names. God comes with 1,000 names. It doesn't matter what name you give him. It's the meaning for you, which it has. So, a young group of souls, young virgin souls, unaffected of everything, come to this planet. Beautiful picture. Imagine now, you want to grow. So you begin. Life comes out of the water. That's what the scientists say. Yes, but not biologically, spiritually. Why? If you want to exercise, to earn experience, you have to live short cycles. And the first beginning is short cycling. You live through flora and fauna in the seas. Which creature is the highest one? In the seas, my friend. Answer me, which is the most evolved, the most conscious creature in the seas?
The dolphin?
Exactly. So it is perfectly tuned.
Wait.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm wrong. It's the merman. Dang it.
Okay. If you look at it, a dolphin doesn't change its form over millions of years. Why? Because it's perfect. It's perfect. It's very simple. In his environment, it's perfect. It knows how to breathe. It knows how to dive. It has a social life. It swims in groups. It takes care of others. It can communicate over 5,000 miles per telepathy. It uses more of his brain than the human does. So it's the, let's say, last step for a young soul. If it took enough experience in the seas, every creature, every fauna, flora, it has to come. It's like a hard drive. Your soul is like a hard drive, but you don't need to change it. It's growing over knowledge. It's like humans build PCs, build cars, but the core of it, the core function is always the same. It's always the same. Your PC has a RAM. It's like your brain now. It's of a short memory. You have your heart, the CPU. You breathe air. It's the power connector in your PC. And you have the hard disk. And what happens if the hard disk is full? You take another one, put it in, and you have more space to save data. Your soul is a hard drive. Very simple, but it's an evolving, replicating hard drive frequency, energy frequency hard drive. It never loses anything. Even if it gets erased, it never loses everything. Never anything. It can always be downloaded from the next step above. Your conscious blueprint, your body blueprint, because you're interconnected with your material biomachine, your soul, then in the next dimension with your energy body, then at top of it with your conscious mind, and what kind of level of knowledge you have, what kind of level you reached in your lifetime, you are connected always with force. It doesn't matter how low you are or how high you are. You're always connected. It's a network, like the neurons in your brain. If you look at the firmament, the stars, galaxies, doesn't they look like neurons? You said it by yourself as you looked at them. Yes, they do. Because everything has consciousness. Everything is interconnected. So, everything you learn makes you, let's say, bigger, stronger. Your will become stronger. You will more know what is your way, the path you want to choose. Free will universe. So evolution, let's get back to the little dolphin. If you had everything experienced in the seas, then the next step is to come on the land. And you know as a dolphin how to breathe air, that there is a sun, there can get cold, there are storms, there is rain. You have everything needed to know as a basics. Like if you go out into the wilderness, you need to know the basics, and everything else is experience. So, as biology is a manifested thought, everything is there. It only needs to be fine-tuned by, let's say, Gaia, the conscious soul of this habitable planet. It only needs to be adjusted to climatic changes, meteorite impacts, whatever happens in the third dimension, okay? So then life goes on in the same fashion on land to evolve, like a diamond that you buried out, fresh out of the earth. It's dirty, it's not polished, but every life cycle makes it cleaner. Every cycle makes it cleaner, 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 and bigger and stronger. And your soul is a big light. It's like a supernova. The older you get, the stronger you will become. Your let's say, your longing for freedom, because this is a free will universe where everything is free. You can do whatever you want. In the third dimension, there is this karma matrix. Let's say a karma matrix. It's like, it holds the balance. White karma, black karma. But something is there, needs to be there to hold the balance between these two. This is chaos energy. And that's another topic which we can touch later maybe, if you have the time. If not, another time, if you are interested. So let's say these young souls evolved everything through every body that you can imagine. Plants, trees, which are the highest biological entities on this planet, because they can live for thousands of years if no one cuts them down. Okay, so it sees everything. Time passes, tribes die, civilizations go. It can overlook it. 5,000, 4,000-year-old trees, no problem for them. And also, the more knowledge you get, the more energy you get, the more advanced the biomachine becomes. The scientists say we come from the apes. Biologically, everything is interconnected. Everything is the same. Matter is the same. Everything is the same. DNA, matter, atoms, neurons, doesn't matter. Everything is interconnected. Yes, we come from the apes. Excuse me, yes? No, say it. Or ask.
No, please continue. I'll ask after. That's fine.
Okay, so be it. So, yes, we come from the apes. Not genetically now on soul evolution. Cause why? Before you get the human body, which is far, far advanced on a free world, which is not interfered with, okay? We are not talking about interference. It's free, like it should be. The ape has everything you need, like the dolphin in the seas. The ape-style biomachine has everything you need to learn. You can learn how to have sex. You can learn how to have a social behavior, an own language, live in tribes, be interconnected, live in your nature, take care of your child, take care of everybody in your ape tribe. So if you have everything experienced in this tribe, then you get to this next proto-machine, biomachine, the human. Why? Because there comes empathy, there comes consciousness, real consciousness. It's like, I'll take a Lamborghini, it's very exclusive, it's very special, it's for the ones that can drive it. Okay, it's a stupid example now, excuse me for it, but you have to get always the better biomachine till you are far enough advanced in your soul energy, soul consciousness, knowledge, experience, that you can leave your home planet without technology. Technology is only a tool, nothing else. But if your society grows freely, evolution, soul evolution will be far more faster than technology can get. So you will, as a soul spirit, a free soul spirit, how can I say, advance far, far more than technology. And you overcome technology, because will is everything you need to travel to the stars. If your whole civilization has a high consciousness, they don't need technology to travel. Technology is needed for third and fourth dimensions. Fourth dimension has a frontier, a veil, a border, because karmic system is not without a reason. If you have a lot of karma, it's like concrete on your feet, and you can't go on the top of the water so you can breathe. If you want to evolve, then you have to rely, if you don't get your negative karma clean, or you think doesn't matter to me because it's okay that I rule an empire and I rule thousands of worlds and enslave trillions, billions of species. Who cares? I'm a god here. Then you can't go. You have to use technology, but technology is always limited. This is at the moment a very, very short, concentrated input. You would need for this a lot of hours to dive in everything. Deep, 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 deep in it. Very deep run in. So you wanted to ask me something, Rex.
I'd like to get into this soul matrix that you said you know about, the moon soul cube. And I just want to add something to that, because I remember several years ago, I read a bit about how, you know, somebody supposedly, I think it was John Lear's grandson was a part of a remote viewing session. And, you know, this is internet, so I don't have any validation. But what was interesting about it was the discussion about how this soul cube on the moon was actually, people were able to remote view when this guy died. They followed his soul to this location on the moon. And one thing that I do find fascinating about the moon is it's absolutely an anomaly. Whether or not you want to believe the information that's readily available about how there's 6 giant maskins on the moon that act like thrusters and they can't describe why they're there. And, you know, you can say that there's these enormous craters that have different widths, but they're all about the same depth. Satellites pick this thing ringing like a bell after, you know, anything hits it or lands on it. Yes, we know that the footage that we were shown on the television, the moon landings, yes, that stuff's fake. However, they've definitely been to the moon. They're just not showing us what's out there. And I've got images of the moon like right here. This is from a 9.5-inch telescope. I've got an 8-inch telescope that's good enough to get these same images from the moon, and the details are incredible. But then when you see stuff like this, this is from the moon. That is not a natural anomaly. It looks like there's a little lake next to it, a little bed of water. It looks like there's some trees below that. And then you can see the structure. And hey, maybe this isn't from the moon. Maybe this image right here is swamp gas from Uranus. Maybe it was taken in Greenland. You know, that's the new thing now. Everything you see from NASA is either CGI or comes from Greenland. Now, don't get me wrong. I think there's a lot of stuff that comes from NASA that is CGI and fake, yet a lot of the other stuff that we see isn't just from NASA. People give NASA way too much credit. There's plenty of amateurs out there that can validate information. And where am I going with this? I remember having a conversation with somebody that I'm very close to yesterday about the moon and about how if the moon isn't even real, then why do they have moon signs? Why does astrology have, you know, these different references, astronomy have different references of the moon and different gods being in connection with it? But then you can read about the people that talked about pre-moon. Could the moon have actually been the cause of the great floods by moving the moon there? And was the moon put there by Anu or the dynasty of the Anunnaki? And is there some type of control grid in there where they're harvesting the souls? I mean, there's a lot of questions to be asked, and this can become very woo-woo. And at the same time, you can add a lot of validation points to this to kind of back up your stories with all of the prophecies and ancient texts and connection points and philosophers. There's just so much, and plus the physical data, the data that we've seen, these rocks where they've dissected them underneath microscopes and they look like these titanium alloy synapses that are embedded and fossilized. There's just so many different possibilities. Ingo Swann, one of the greatest remote viewers of all time, the stories he talks about there being naked humanoids out there in a green mist doing some type of mining. I find that interesting because I don't think there's any mining going on the moon. I think it would be more like maybe repair work or something like that, because if it is a structure, why would they mine it? Why would they mine their structure? They would just be repairing it or whatever. But it's just fascinating to think about the control. And then you get into the demiurge, you get into the Gnostic text, you get into the manipulation of humankind still to this day, and all these weird beings and centaurs and stuff like that previously to the flood, and all the stuff that we're seeing now. Even maybe they control everything and they've learned how to harvest energy off of even the calendar, the days, the body parts, oh man, I mean, even the planets that we see in the alignment, the way everything's set up with CERN-like technologies, Hadron Collider type technologies, Shiva weapons that have been talked about for thousands of years, cosmic weapons. Then you see Shiva in front of CERN, and there's this weapon that can manipulate time and matter in these Vedic texts that say Shiva gave this entity that weapon, and now Shiva is in front or in the courtyard of the CERN facility. So it's like they throw it in our face. People have to take these little nibbles and take these little breadcrumbs and come to their own conclusions. So I kind of like how you're talking about the higher archetypes of essence and of source and being able to transfer consciousness into these higher realms. If you could be an entire planet, then you could fill everything within that planet. Or you could just be the plankton, or you could just be a dolphin, or you could just be a bird, or you could be multiple birds, or you could be multiple planets, or you could be the cosmos and understand that consciousness. But let's get into what you know about the moon matrix.
Okay, well, to understand for the people who always say, no, the moon is not fake or something else, I say this to the people which are conscious, which are realistic, and even if it's physics, if you have this universe, okay, it's now a ball. It's like a ball. It's turning in one direction. It has frequency, energy. So if it's turning to the left side, let's say, everything in it will turn to the left side. So imagine it turns to the left side. It's like if you have a cup of milk, you have a spoon. You are the universe, and you are turning the milk. If you put cacao in it, chocolate, then you will see how the chocolate will move with the spoon. It's gravity, it's third dimension physics, it's very simple. So every galaxy in this universe, which is connected with the whole universe, a conscious universe, will turn into the same direction, same frequency, same vibration, same energy. Every sun in the galaxies will turn, every planet in the galaxy will turn the same way, and every solar system, every moon around the planet will turn in the same way. So what happens? You have your cup of milk with the hot chocolate in it, and let's say it doesn't melt. So you see how it turns. So what happens if I take, let's say, another spoon, a little spoon, and hold it into your little solar system. You're the sun. Your spoon is now the sun. Every planet turns the same way. I hold in it another spoon, and I am fixated. Oh, no, I turn against your gravitation. That's artificial. Excuse me, artificial. So it don't belong there. If you look at Deimos, Phobos, the Mars moons, look at the moon. My friend, the moon, if it would be naturally, it would turn in the same way like your solar system. It wouldn't stand still. It has a perfect circled, let's say, help me, path around the Earth. It orbits the Earth in a nearly perfect circle. Which other object does it? Satellites. Satellites does it. Everything that is natural has an egg shape, oval, because gravity pulls in everything. But the moon has a circle way to go, and it doesn't turn. Why does it not rotate? So it's like my spoon in your hot chocolate milk. I define what it will do, not you, because it's artificial. Very simple. If you look at Iapetus, the Saturn moon, Death Star, whatever, doesn't matter what it is. Look at Saturn, the hexagonal entry on his north pole, I think. It has no ice, only some strange dust, which even NASA admitted some weeks ago, as they flew with a Cassini sound satellite through it. So everything that doesn't behave with the third dimension physics is a crafted object. It's placed somewhere. If it counter-rotates, that's a sign for a stabilization. If you are conscious enough, have enough knowledge, you learned a lot, and you watch out to the stars, and you see everything is in harmony, always rotating in the same principle, except two moons or one of your moons, then this is like a message. Open your mind, look at it, and question, why doesn't rotate the moon? I asked some of my friends, and even in the work, people, when it was full, have you ever asked why it doesn't rotate? And they look at you and ask, no, why? And if you explain them the simplest form of gravity, physics, Newtonian law, everything has to rotate because this whole universe is rotating in a special frequency from high above to the down and again up in different frequencies, in different shades of color, in different shades of sounds, in different shades of feelings, in different shades of consciousness. And that's this beautiful picture of this construct. Yes.